Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live in the NBA kind of has a restricted free agency problem. I mean, you look at the list of best free agents available, and the guys atop the list are going to be the restricted guys, whether it's Josh Giddey, Quentin Grimes, Jonathan Kuminga, or Cam Thomas. Now, these guys, it's hard for them to get a market value deal because their teams are saying, well, who's going to give you a deal worth, I don't know, $25, $30 million? Why are we going to pay you that if no one else has that money available? So we sit and wait for those guys to sign. But as I mentioned, one of those guys, one of those restricted free agents is Cam Thomas, who was having a career year in his fourth season in the league. Prior to getting hurt, he remains in restricted free agency. And Zach Lowe went on his podcast and had, talked about how others feel about Cam Thomas and his game. Well, Cam Thomas went on X to respond to Zach Lowe and his comments. So we see here NBA Retweet X. It mentions Zach Lowe on Cam Thomas. A consensus on Cam Thomas, if there is one, and he's got some fans, and he's got some mega detractors, not just detractors, but mega detractors. But the consensus is kind of like empty calories ball hog. I mean, we've heard of guys putting up empty calorie stats, guys on losing teams putting up numbers, but aren't affecting winning in any shape or form. But Cam Thomas had this response: the consensus, F you and the consensus, Zach Lowe. This is most likely the same consensus teams who can't guard me and send double teams from jump ball. Why are we double teaming a guy who's not that good? Make it make sense, please. So definitely struck a chord from Cam Thomas. And I mean, to be fair, I think Zach Lowe is fairly trustworthy, where I don't think he would make up something. So these words aren't necessarily what Zach Lowe feels about Cam Thomas. He's saying that's just a consensus on him. But yeah, to use that word mega detractors makes it seem as if some people really aren't fond of him. But Cam Thomas wasn't done. He also added this last time speaking on some empty calories. First off, we were the 5th or 6th team in the East before my injury and trades. Can't control what the GM want to do with the team. Second, ball hog. I was second on the team in assists, not counting the point guards traded away and traded for. So, yes, for a while, the Nets looked like an overachieving team. I mean, they had the lowest over-under wins total, and, they were right there in play-in tournament position for, I don't know how many games, through 30 games, something like that, 35 maybe. Then, of course, they made moves, trading Dorian Finney-Smith, Dennis Schroeder, and, tanking, but again, lowest over under. They definitely overachieved in Jordy Fernandez's first year, and didn't have Cam Thomas, their top scorer. Mentioned second on the team in assists, and yes, he did put up a career high assist total. We see here. Just played 25 games last year, averaging 24 points and 3.8 assists. About a 1.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio, which is right in line for his career. His field goal percentage and 3-point percentage were pretty much right at his career averages, even with more volume, although field goal attempts were essentially the same as the previous year. Just started jacking up a few more threes per game, and he's basically been a league average, close to league average 3-point shooter in his career, especially if you take out his rookie year when he made just 27%. A guy who gets to the line, 6 free throws per contest last year. So definitely a flawed player, but let's be fair, what player in the NBA isn't flawed? Do you think Zach Lowe's comments, or the comments he's receiving from the consensus, are fair when it's about Cam Thomas? What do you think is a fair contract for Cam Thomas? in today's climate, 30 million a year. I read if he's comparing himself to, I don't know, guys like Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett. There was another name I forget, and what they're making, and he thinks he's just as good, if not better. Debatable. Quickly had an injury-prone year as well, but yes, Cam Thomas going off on X about what the consensus believes his game is like. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.